failures can be one of the best moments in your life. Pun intended. Your failing moments, you would have no idea what some of your best moments are. Without failing, you would have no idea what you liked and what you didn't like. I used to beat myself up because I thought that when I was failing, I wasn't progressing. Not realizing all the failing I was doing was really a stepping stone. All those times I wasted in retail, withering away, tiring myself out, I realized that it was preparing me for what's to come. But you see, in a moment, you don't think of failure like that. We think of failure as a downward spiral. Today, we're gonna talk about 3 things every woman should know about failure and how it can get you closer to your purpose or dreams. No more shame over here. Failure isn't a bad thing if it's used to push you into the right direction. Failure helps you see what to refine. Without failure, you wouldn't know what to change. And without it, how can you know how to get better as a person? How can you know what you need to change or what you need to improve on without it? Without it, it would mean that there's no room for change. It would mean that technically you'd be staying the same person as yesterday. And the goal is always to be improving and transforming and expanding into something better each and every day, right? Including me. Let me give you the definition of failure. Lack of success. When people feel that lack of success, there's something inside of them where they're like, how can I get more success? What can I do to get more success? And that's how they start brainstorming and trying to find a solution to that feeling of lack. And that's the reason why you'll see people change jobs, start a new business, they'll start traveling more because they're seeking that feeling of success. They're seeking to change that feeling of, oh, I'm a failure. So they're trying to improve on that feeling. They're trying to improve on what they feel like they failed at. Because we all know that failing is a feeling. It's really a feeling, right? Because it's not something tangible that you hold. It's a feeling, it's a perception that you have as a result of doing something or something happening. The only reason why someone will know that they need to shift or they need to change or they need to improve or they need to make more money, whatever it may be, is because they have that feeling of lack of success, right? That lack of success makes them aware that, hey, I need to improve. That lack of success makes you aware of, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to make some changes. The whole goal of this is to thrive, to achieve success. And I wanted to bring this up because we as women, when we go through failure, we tend to get shamed. We tend to beat ourselves up because we made a mistake. It didn't go the way we wanted to, or we didn't listen, or something like that. But not realizing that on the other end of the road, they all go hand in hand. Without failures, there is no success. You need failures so you can identify success. Could you imagine a world where you had no failures? Technically, everything will be success and you'll have no feeling of what it means to achieve success. We're talking about the opposite of the lack of success, which is the definition of failure. In order to feel like you have achieved success, there needs to be a moment of where you did not achieve success. There was a lack of success. Failure is a sign of clarity of what you want and what you don't want. I have a confession. I never actually grew in any of the jobs I did, especially in retail. I wasted 10 years of my life in retail. One of the biggest things I learned, I realized that in those times of failing, the reason why I really failed, it was because I didn't know who I really was. That experience of failure allowed me to understand I had no clue. I didn't know jack of who I was. When you understand who you are, failure becomes a win. You are no longer defined by your failures. Your mess ups become the thing that pushes you in the place that you need to be in that exact moment. It helps you understand what you want and don't want. Most likely, if you touched the stove and burned your hand and made a mistake and you burned your hand, you'll learn from that mistake and you'll get more clever and you'll come up with a better solution. That way you can get the benefit of the stove and you're like, you know what, next time I'm gonna wear oven mitts so it keeps my hand protected, so that way I can use the stove without getting burned again. Every time you do a mistake, it's an opportunity to find another way to be successful. It's an opportunity for you to learn from that mistake and experience success, experience achievements. And all of a sudden, from that one experience that may be bad, that was maybe a mistake that you have done that you're not proud of, it becomes the one reason why you know exactly what you want and what you don't want for yourself and for your life. At your life, you now know you want healthy hands, you don't want burned hands. When you fail at a business or a job, it helps you to understand what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are. So then the next time when you try again, because you know in life you either need a job or you need a business, right? So you can make money. The next time you do it again, you're gonna refine it. And you're most likely not gonna do the same thing again if you have learned from that failure, if you have learned from that mistake. And you're gonna be like, okay, so when I get a job next time and I apply for it next time, I'm gonna try to get a job that's within my strengths, so that way I'll do better at it and I'll grow more and I'll be able to not just be failing all the time. So you feel better at yourself. You see, the reason why people get stuck in a cycle is because they choose not to be aware of what's going on around them, what's going on in the job. And I speak for myself because when I had the job, I always looked at myself and said, oh, I was a failure. I wasn't good enough. Equated failing to defining who I was, but really what it came down to, it just came down to strengths and weaknesses. I was not working in my strengths, I was working in my weaknesses. And that was something that I learned over time as I grew into my business. I realized like, wait, so the reason why I was failing was for that X reason. If you don't know the reason of why you're failing and you don't understand who you are, that's how you start to deflect it on you. But really what it comes down to is taking a step back and understanding why you're failing. Because understanding that one reason of why you're failing can be the game changer of how your life goes, how your life shifts and changes. Time to stop that cycle. Don't run from your failures. They're your baby steps to getting you to where you need to be. Look at your failures as the driver to push you to want to do something. So without failures, for some of us, we probably wouldn't be here right now. Because failures allows you to get stronger. It helps you to sharpen your iron. It helps you to sharpen and grow and build and get more stronger. Without challenges, how would you grow? The next thing that failure would bring you in your life is divine moments. Because without your failures and mistakes, you wouldn't be able to step into your purpose. You wouldn't become who you're meant to be in this life. Your failures is what shapes your mind. It's what shapes your experience to relate to other people. Your failure is never just for you. Have you ever noticed that you would go through something, overcome it, and then maybe years or months later, someone will come to you with the same issue and you're like, well, dang, I went through that so-and-so couple so-and-so years ago or months ago, and here's how I did it. And usually there's someone out there that's gonna go through the same thing you went through, and now you can help them. It's so powerful, especially if you didn't have someone at the time to talk to. Now that someone has someone to talk to, and that is you. Never forget that. Every moment you go through is an opportunity to help someone else. It's an opportunity to inspire someone and maybe even save their lives. Failure really allows you to appreciate where you are. Sometimes you need to miss the jumping board, the springboard, a few times so you can appreciate when you actually catch the jumping board and you're actually able to jump on the jumping board. If everything was just easy and you never did any mistakes, you will never appreciate the times where you actually accomplish something. So don't despise the moments where you need to learn from it, where you've done a mistake. It's okay. Life still goes on. That's the beauty of things. Don't despise it. Use that as a moment where you really appreciate it when you move forward. Use that as a moment when you learn from your mistakes, but don't beat yourself up. Don't do it.